This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Well, good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Tim Gordon. This morning on Sunrise, bringing awareness to domestic violence. An expert explains how to best help survivors despite gaps in the system. Plus, remembering an icon, how fans are honoring the legacy of Portland's beloved drag queen Darcel this weekend. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Chris McGinnis for our Saturday forecast. A little snow in there, huh?
Yeah, some folks, if I'll tell you what, for folks that didn't see low elevation snow yesterday morning, that does not mean you're off the hook this morning. And case in point, I'm not sure if you can see this too well, but this is I-5 near the 205 interchange in Tualatin, and the median here has a little snow coverage. I got a report from someone earlier this morning saying the left lane on northbound I-5 had some snow coverage briefly. What I can tell you is that temperatures this morning are generally 1, 2, in some cases 3 degrees colder right now than they were yesterday at this time. It's 36 in downtown, it's 35 in Scappoose. Forest Grove is down to 32. Tigard and Westland are 33. It's 32 in Oregon City. And as we slip southward, we're in the low to mid 30s as well. McMinnville, Kaiser, Salem, all between about 34 and 36. These are roughly about the same as yesterday, but in some cases a little colder. The good news is, at least for now, the snow showers have given us a bit of a lull, right? We've got a little break in the action up the I-5 corridor, but we still have some flurries around Battleground and some working their way to western Washington County and out of Tillamook County towards western Yamhill County as well. Don't be fooled by the lull, right? Because we still have plenty of showers upstream. In fact, the flow remains out of the northwest today, and so that will keep driving the next band of precipitation our way. And at the same time, you know, temperatures are cold. And so in the heaviest showers, we could drag those snow levels right back down briefly to the valley floor. It's 37 at PDX, so you're saying, okay, it's too warm to stick. And in most cases on the valley floor, that's true, but heavier showers could put down a quick dusting. Note that the temperatures do eventually get back into the upper 40s. I say warm into the upper 40s. Our normal high this time of the year is 58. So a cool and showery day on tap for our Saturday. Tim?
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. Well, this is a tough topic after the bodies of a Vancouver mother and her 7-year-old daughter were found this week. There have been no arrests, but police are calling Michelle Melendez's boyfriend a person of interest in their disappearance. And court documents point to a history of alleged domestic violence. Alma McCarty talked to an expert about this case and about how folks can support loved ones who may also be suffering.
The trouble is when we have a legal system with district attorneys and judges, they are horribly undertrained in domestic violence. They know laws, but they don't know a perpetrator, they don't know the characteristics of a perpetrator, and they don't know what they do to a victim.
Dr. Kathy Mathis is a doctor of clinical psychology and a national domestic violence expert with 37 years in the field. After the disappearance and death of 27-year-old Michelle Melendez and her young daughter, Layla, she looked into the background of Michelle's boyfriend, Kirkland Warren. At this point, he's only considered a person of interest in their disappearance.
You have judges that let him out, should never have let him out. You have a district attorney who gave him bail. Why would you give somebody bail who has this kind of a history?
KGW reached out to Clark County officials to find out why GPS monitoring wasn't requested for Warren, given the alleged criminal history of domestic abuse. The prosecuting attorney's office responded with no comment, citing an open investigation.
You have a perpetrator who has shown you who they are, believe them, because they're not going to change.
Dr. Mathis explained it can take many tries for people caught in cycles of domestic abuse to leave a partner. Seeking out help from a resource center or shelter is also difficult to do.
And there are services there. I mean, they get food, they get clothing, they get opportunities for healing and for, rebuilding their life. But a lot of them say, this is my home. I'm here, I don't want to leave it because I've done nothing wrong. And that really is part of the reason, along with the bonding, that people stay in the relationships. And then you add the threats to, I'll kill you if you leave.
For concerned family and friends, she recommends looking out for signs of controlling or verbally abusive behavior and isolation. For those in a potentially dangerous situation, Dr. Mathis offers this advice.
Get out, get to safety, get help, and make that person that's lying to you prove they've changed. It's not what they say that you listen to, it's what they do.
A lot of important advice there. Well, tomorrow morning, there will be a community vigil to honor the lives of Miche and Layla. It's at 11 a.m. in Esther Short Park in Vancouver. And again, Warren still remains a person of interest in this case. And he is facing an unrelated murder charge for a 2018 case out of Arkansas. Well, if you or someone you know may be a victim of domestic violence, know that you are not alone. And there is a 24/7 national crisis hotline to help connect people to resources and to provide emotional support. You can call or text that number that's on your screen right now. It's 1-800-799-7233. Well, authorities are asking for help finding this missing Portland teenager. She's 16-year-old Jerica Landon. She disappeared from foster care on March 7th, and police believe she could be in danger. They say she may still be in Portland, but could have traveled north to Kirkland or Seattle, or even south to Northern California. Landon's 5'5" with reddish brown hair and a tattoo of a heart on her neck. If you see Landon or know anything about her disappearance, call 911. Well, a woman has been sentenced to nearly 6 years in prison for biting a security guard while shoplifting at Washington Square Mall. This is 31-year-old Ashley Clark, who pleaded guilty to both assault and robbery. Last June, Clark stole more than $800 worth of merchandise from the Nordstrom store at the mall. When the guard tried to stop her, she bit off a part of the guard's earlobe. Clark also had 2 outstanding warrants at the time of her arrest.
Well, the tributes are coming in from literally all around the world, and they all say the same thing, that he was just so kind and generous, and that is really the absolute truth. Is the bottom line. It's who he was as a person.
And who he was a Portland icon. Walter Cole, better known by his stage name Darcel, is remembered most of all for his strength of spirit and his willingness to stand up for a better and more accepting world. And so in that vein, fans celebrated last night with the first performance since Darcel's passing at the age of 92. Catherine Cook takes us there.
It was a full house Friday night. People who loved Darcel and Walter say going on with the show is what the legendary drag queen wanted.
Diamonds are forever.
From the stage that Darcel built, they went on without her. Darcel 15, the brightest diamond in a jewel box where sparkle is queen.
All of us queens, we look at her as kind of our mama, We loved her, and she will now always be with us.
From Bolivia Carmichael to Mr. Mitchell, now the oldest performer at Darcel's after 42 years.
It's been a ride, but you know what? She said we have to do a show, and we're doing a show. That's what we're here for. And we're entertainers, and she was an entertainer, and she still is an entertainer.
Darcel passed away Thursday at the age of 92. When she wasn't performing, he was Walter W. Cole Sr. On Friday, fans brought flowers and stories. They gathered near a corner that now bears Darcel's name, at least for a little while.
I saw her when I was a kid, and it made me feel like I wasn't alone, and that there was someone that had our back, and I just wanted to tell her thank you.
Because of Darcel, Mikey can be Tammy Wynot, and Kevin can be Poison Waters and make us all laugh. On this night, it was at the expense of KGW photographer Kyle Connolly.
My God, you're quite attractive. You're on the wrong side of the camera. What is your name?
Kyle.
Kyle? Yeah. Oh, I don't care for that name. Okay, so...
That's entertainment. And that's why they come here.
They're letting all the crazy things that are going on in the world today go for just a couple of hours.
And why?
As long as the lady's name's on the door, we're doing a show.
They'll never stop. In Northwest Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.